All right, so I'm David, and this is Team 18, the State Farm Badging System Artifact 1. And what you are looking at right now is our Sprint 1 task board. Now, the overall goal of Sprint 1 was kind of just to set up the project, choose technologies, some preliminary things. So if you look at our tasks, they're pretty standard. So we have one, we decided to make our wireframe for the login, which will be the first code we write for the next sprint. And then we have some research tasks given to the guys that don't have as much experience with React. And then we have our research, our system architecture, which is kind of like the folder structure in our repos. And then we also have the database stuff where we built the schema, and we also researched some stuff on how to do that with Mongo. Mitchell, if you'd like to go to the database schema. All right, so this is our database schema. Right now we have three collections: the user collection, the badge collection, and the team collection. If you look at the ID, the object ID, that is what is actually generated by Mongo. So every single element in a collection will have a Mongo generated ID. It kind of works as the primary key, and you can see how these relate across each other. So for example, in the badge collection, the recipients would be the people that have been awarded the badge. There's an array, a JSON array of those people, and that references the user collection. And then the same thing with like the team collection. You can see here that there's a coach ID that would reference a user collection object ID as well. So yeah, that's kind of how these schemas work in Mongo. They are JSON elements inside of Mongo. That is how you see them, and how you relate to them is by having an attribute from a different table. So Mitchell, if you'd like to go to the wireframe. All right, so this is a pretty basic wireframe for login. I mean, it's just something for us to go off of next for our next sprint. And like right now, we don't actually know what we're going to call the badging system. But for right now, login is very basic. You can't even register for the site right now. That has to be done through admins that basically have to create the users. So yeah, that concludes what I've done, and I'm going to hand you off to the next person.
Hi guys, my name is Gaurav. As you can see here, I went ahead and just researched a little bit about Mongo, particularly in understanding how to reference documents with one another. Personally, I've worked with SQL more than I have with NoSQL, so I know in SQL you're able to join tables. So I wanted to understand fully how to do something similar with Mongo. I also spent some time trying to see how to connect our REST API, which will be Node, with Mongo, and seeing how that connection sort of works. Just kind of went through some tutorials online on YouTube, as well as Udemy, to kind of see how this is all working and sort of the flow of our application. And so I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to the next person.
Hi, this is Ryan, and my task was to just research React. I'm practically new to React, so I spent this sprint just watching videos and going on separate articles to learn basically the tutorials and basics of React. And then I'll just pass it to the next person.
All right, my name is Mitchell, and my task was to research the architecture and pretty much set up the source code folder structure so we could get started. So my first task was to research the architecture solutions, and another team member, David, was able to find a good article for me, and we were able to discuss how we were going to structure our folder for that. So what I did is I researched a couple things, and I found proper solutions and packages we could use. And what we did was create a organization called the Badging System organization, and in there we added all the people involved, all the members. We have sent an invite over to you, Professor Sandy, so when you get that, you'll be able to see whatever we've done. And I created 3 repositories for the structure of our application. We are currently debating if we need a data layer, but as far as it goes, the presentation layer is the front end of our system. So the React will be put in this repository. In the application layer, the API server will be inside of that. So in there, you are able to see the folder structure I have put together. This will have a proper README for people to read, and it will have all the necessary folders and stuff to get the program running. And so, yeah, that is what I did. For the next person, Hong, he did not attend this presentation for unknown reasons. And his task was to research React, but we do not know what he has learned thus far. So, yep, that is us.